I would probably be called a conspiracy theorist for this, but that I don't really care about anymore. I've had suspicion about the medical industry, i.e. doctors and stuff like that. I used to believe that doctors were like policemen, and I used to believe that both were good. Then obviously Harold Shipman came along, and there's many a copper that's turned out not to be good. But that's not saying that all doctors aren't good, because I believe a lot of them are, all right? I also believe that there probably are some good coppers out there. It just doesn't seem that I ever get to see them and hear about them. Nevertheless, so the point of this is, my mother died at 62, all right, way before her time. She had lupus, arthritis. She wasn't entirely well, but growing up, I used to see her every morning with literally a handful of tablets. And I used to think to myself, even at a young age, I am sure that those tablets are working against each other, and does she really need all those tablets? But obviously as a kid, nobody would listen to you anyway, so just shut up, go to school, if you have to. Anyway, I've had a friend who, and I probably can't pronounce any of these, she basically, like myself, lived an exciting life and overdid it. Long story short, she went to hospital and she nearly died. Well, since then, she's obviously got much better. She's fine. She's been fine for years and years and years. But in the process, they've tried to give her azathioprine, steroids, citalopram, misoprostol or Prostat, one for an epilepsy. Now, the reason I say this is because they've tried to put her on a lot of drugs, all of which, bar the epilepsy drug, she's told them, no thank you. But they're very insistent. And then after a little bit of digging, because if you haven't got epilepsy, you really don't want to be taking these type of things. And I remember my time, when I was dealing with depression badly, they wanted to throw all sorts at me, including, and I can't remember the one for the bipolar, where you take it and then they've got to do permanent checks on your blood every month to make sure you haven't got too much of this in it or too much of that. Anyway, I didn't take it. I didn't want it. But they put me through all these different medications, and at one point I lost the use of my legs for very short periods. What they'd done is they left me on one medication that I was trying to come off, which had a sleeping, a sedative in it, and put me onto another one. But I was on both of them at full tilt at the same time, because this is what the doctor said. Funnily enough, I was driving trucks at the time, which I couldn't drive because I was sleeping in a van, and I tried to stand up, and I couldn't, and I had to hold on. What was I then? 40? Maybe even 39? It wasn't good anyway. But they've put me on every drug going, and in the end, I ended up coming off them, and I'm much better. Now, when you look at some of the side effects of these drugs, and they do put down everything, you have to wonder, like, say, for instance, antidepressants that make you suicidal. Why would you give them to somebody who's depressed already? It does make you think. But it turned out that in the village where I live at the moment, many people were put on the same drug that my friend was that didn't need it. Anyway, the reason I did this video is because I've just taken that same friend to Bristol to see the specialist that she didn't need to see because there's nothing wrong with her. And he keeps trying to put her on medication for, what is it when you've got bad guts? And it's for a hereditary bad stomach problem, and it's a medication thing, and it will come to me in a minute, so just bear with. And he says, for 10 years, I've been trying to find out if you've got this. You haven't had it for 10 years, but you will have it, he said. I'm sure of it. So you need to take this medication. She went, no, I'm not taking it. He said, you have to, because if you don't take it and you get a blockage, you'll die. Look, I've been fine in that department always. Everything works. The reason, by the way, that she had a bad stomach is because she had a car accident, and to work, she was in pain, so she took, what was it called? Anti-inflammatories. But she didn't take one or two. She took lots, and it ruined her stomach. It would do. It says so. But my mate's not one that does anything in small measures. But anyway, what I'm trying to say here, and what the point is, I'm wondering, because I'm pretty sure, because I had people that I know that work in doctor surgeries, And the medication companies, the pharmaceuticals, come in and they take them out for meals. They buy them golf memberships, and they do all sorts of stuff like this to bribe them. Why? If a doctor would only ever prescribe you what you needed, then there could be no need for bribing, because they wouldn't be of any use. They're going to give it to them if they need them, and they're not if they're not. See where I'm going here? But if they are open to bribery, then is it a Hippocratic oath or something like that? They're not acting as a doctor in your best interest. And we've only got to look at the last 2 years to back that up. What were they pushing on people? What sort of pressure were they pushing on people to take it? So this is why I'm very, very suspicious and untrustworthy of doctors. Now, this doctor doesn't want to release my mate. Sees the person once every 3 years. And when they do, tries to get them on some other drug that they don't need. Although there's been nothing wrong with that person at all. Fit as a flea. All right? So I'm just putting it to you. Have you had any experience like this where you've gone, hang on a minute, why are you putting that person on that? They haven't got any of those symptoms. Now, I understand that some drugs do have multiple applications. I get that. I'm aware of that. But I'm still pretty sure at the moment that they're now getting a kickback from getting you on stuff. And it seems to me that some in the medical profession, not all, will take the financial incentives because you're nothing to them. And let's be fair, it's a bit like if you sold somebody a car, all right, that was reliable as you like, they're not going to come back again. And you're going to be a bit quiet. Sell them a bag of rubbish and they'll keep coming back, and you'll have repeat trade. Now, I was also told by people in the know that a patient cured is a customer lost. So this is why I was putting this video out there, because I'm suspicious. Incredibly, incredibly suspicious. So let me know what you think in the comments. And sorry I didn't do a live stream over the weekend. We've been rather busy. Which I'm going to put this out on. No, I'm going to put this out on the main channel. I've got some other content to do. So if you have been watching the main content, you know I've had trouble with the pickup, by the way. Well, actually, things worked out a little better than I thought. Rear window's been leaking. If you've got an L200, by the way, and it's between 2005, is it, and 2000, I think it's 15 or 16 or whatever it is. If you've got one of those and you've got a rear window in the bulkhead, chances are if you find water on the floor, especially the driver's side floor, it's leaking from there, right? It's a common fault. I didn't know. Anyway, the water had been building up and I was trying to search out where it was. Anyway, it got to the electrics, didn't it? That's why it wouldn't start. Anyway, we've managed to dry it out and it started straight away. So we'll be dealing with the electrics and so on. But I thought I'd just give you an update. Anyway, back to work tomorrow, I hope. We think we might have had the work situation sorted, ladies and gentlemen, which is a relief, to say the very least. That was one of the hardest winters I have ever done, I have to say. But thanks for everybody who helped and supported, and to my friends back here who have helped and supported. Things are looking up. Anyway, I'll see you soon.